Boy, it's time to get ahead of the 99% and join the 1% of complete winners. In order to do that, you're going to have to do what the 99% are unwilling to do. For too long, we have fallen short of our goals, slipping in areas we promised ourselves we would improve. Binge watching has reached a point where it's painful to watch anymore. But we can't afford to close our eyes because the dopamine thrill has consumed us. It's so easy to be great because most of the world is weak. There goes the alarm again. I've missed my workout. 99% of men are just chasing instant gratification. I promised this would be the morning I got up early, but I've slept in again. It's so easy to win if you can control your own mind. This happened to me repeatedly for nearly 3 whole years, and 99% of people are stuck here. Listen, it's actually easy to be in the top 1% of people improving themselves. It's just that the majority are doing it wrong. Beating your competition isn't about some big act that you've done. It's just about showing up every day and setting the intention to try to do a little bit better. But what I didn't realize is that the top 1% understand some ideas that the rest don't. And by following this video, I'll show you what you need to do in order to be in the 1%. If you're a savage and you get out there and grind hard and want it bad enough, you can run over all of these. Listen, I was always anxious. I was behind in life, comparing myself to all the people my age who were doing far better than me. That's because I was constantly falling short of my potential, always procrastinating my tasks, and always making false promises to myself about taking action tomorrow. But tomorrow never came. Promise yourself you'll be the best version of yourself. To be in the top 1%, you must set a big, audacious goal for yourself. 99% of people in the world are convinced they are incapable of achieving great things, so they aim for the mediocre. The level of competition is thus fiercest for realistic goals, paradoxically making them the most time and energy consuming. You can separate yourself from the pack so much more easily by being consistent than by being talented or enthusiastic. 90% of podcasts don't make it past episode 3, and of the 90% that do, 90% don't make it past episode 20. So by making 21 podcast episodes, you're in the top percentile of all podcasters ever in history. Consistency beats talent and enthusiasm. Listen, the 1% know that when setting any goal for yourself, you must hold the fail and evolve mindset. Let me explain. I was always in relatively good shape, but nowhere where I wanted to be. So I set myself the goal of getting in my ideal shape. That was an audacious goal for me, because it's hard to consistently put in the work required to go to the gym and achieve my ideal physique. I failed. I procrastinated the workout. I compromised on some of my sets. I wasn't seeing the results I wanted to see. So what happened? I failed and evolved. I was forced to cut out my bad habits and adopt new ones, which meant eating the right foods, pushing myself through the pain of each set, consuming enough protein per pound of body weight, having a good sleep schedule, and cutting out procrastination in my workout. Listen, I flipped the failure on its head by evolving. The same with my pursuit of YouTube. I didn't know how to edit at first. My first few videos were awful, but I've kept failing and evolving. In order to keep evolving, I've been forced to cut out bad habits from my life each time I've wanted to overcome a new obstacle and reach a new level in both endeavors. I still have huge strides I need to make, but that's good because I'm going to keep growing because of it. But you're never going to realize you're falling short of your potential if you don't set a big goal for yourself. Setting a goal you know you can achieve won't improve you. The only way you will see true growth is when you realize you aren't good enough yet to achieve that goal, and you will be forced to improve in order to succeed. What people don't tell you is that momentum is one of the great keys required to achieving any goal. and all it takes is for one thing to change. When I started to really push myself in each set, it built momentum for me outside of the gym. That one change caused me to eat healthier and allowed me to adopt all the other good habits. Because why would I push myself that hard in the gym if I'm going to compromise my discipline outside of it? So, this is what I mean when I say one thing can be the great change that generates your momentum to start crushing it. And this momentum has ultimately crushed my procrastination. Now, when the thought of putting off the workout for an hour or two comes into my head, I think of what Williamson said, inaction breeds fear, while action breeds courage. The top 1% design their lifestyle, while the 99% let their lifestyle control them. The majority of people are in the 99%, and I know if you're watching this, you want to be different. Look at your competition. They're so distracted before their fingers start itching and they pick up that phone again, starving to indulge in horrendous vices and feeding that cheap dopamine addiction. This cheap dopamine makes you feel like you're winning when you're not. And trust me, not long ago, I was in that position. And listen, I know if you're watching this, you're already ahead of a lot of people. So to get ahead of 99% of people, it will require you to delay gratification. This means avoiding cheap dopamine rewards like junk foods, binging on social media, porn, or watching a full season of anime in one day. You know in the back of your head when a vice is no good for you. Giving up these cheap rewards for the delayed dopamine rewards, like the feeling after a hard workout or finishing a hard task you kept putting off and reaching all the goals you set for yourself that day. And the amazing feeling you get from doing these hard tasks is so superior to the 10-second dopamine hit you get from the social media fix that makes you feel anxious afterward. I did a dopamine detox for a month in the summer, where I cut out all my bad vices. I always thought people were exaggerating the whole dopamine detox thing, but it wasn't until I completed the month that I realized its true power. The feeling was so euphoric. It was the most productive month I've had since starting YouTube. Doing the work felt as easy as sitting and playing PlayStation. I couldn't put the work down. It was so much fun. This is because my base dopamine level reset back to what it should have been, and it made less stimulating tasks instantly more rewarding again. To get ahead of the 99% in these next few months, you must move with intention. And I don't mean this in some basic way because your intention is everything. It's the small habits, how you spend your mornings, how you talk to yourself, what you read, what you watch, who you share your energy with, who has access to you that will change your life. See, the 1% start off their morning with intention. They plan their start the night before, while the 99% wake up slowly, wondering what they should do with their morning. Maybe they rush to work or school because they woke up late, and now they are constantly behind all day, still holding on to that feeling of regret for slacking off in the morning. That doesn't happen to the 1%. The intention was set, and now they keep compounding their wins. Moving with intention means talking to yourself in a forcefully positive manner, essentially programming your mind for success. You're not sitting around doubting yourself all day and constantly shaming yourself in your head. See, when you put in the work you intended to do, you have no reason to shame or doubt yourself. And you don't let others put you down either, because you just don't care. When they say you're the sum of the 5 people you spend the most time with, why not spend that time around people who are go-getters and inspire you? Take David Goggins, for example. He moves with pure intention. Do you think the 5 closest people in his circle are constantly filling him with doubt and telling him he can't do this? No, he cut those people off a long time ago. He only has go-getters. Why would he let people fill his mind with insufficient thoughts? There's literally zero benefit. This also goes for who you are watching online. Maybe you don't realize it, but what you are consuming online directly affects your thoughts. So be conscious about what you're consuming. Over the summer, I was listening to a lot of motivational and productive podcast episodes, and without realizing it, these people's mindsets were rubbing off on me in an extremely positive manner. So understand, you can program your mind for success by consuming the right information consistently. Lastly, you've got to hold the right mindset to be in the top 1%. I know I talked about mindset in my last video, but you've got to ask yourself, how badly do you really want to succeed? Yeah, like everything, until you find some momentum, it's going to be hard, but that's okay. Again, I'm human and struggle the same as you. But whenever I get frustrated that the task is too hard, I remember this quote from Alex Rossi. This is what hard feels like. This helps me realize I knew the task was going to be hard. I was aware of that. So why am I sitting down with the mindset that I'm expecting this task to be easy? It's meant to be hard. Being in the top 1% isn't going to be easy. If it was, everyone would be in it. Some days I really struggle and simply just don't want to follow through with the mission. But it's far less painful to feel the pain of doing a hard task than feeling the pain of regret when you're older and looking back at what your life could have been.